Everybody wants that 700 plus, that 800 plus credit score so you can start getting approved for shit because you always getting denied. Every time you try to go get that brand new whip or get a credit card, you always getting denied because your credit score is low. We all want to get somewhere. We all want to see approved. We all want to get the things that we want. But sometimes we gotta have good credit for it. What is your credit score? What is a credit score? Do you know? Do you know the factors that make up your credit score in order for you to get that 700 plus or that 800 plus? If you don't know, you're about to find out. You already know what time it is. It's your boy D. Let's level up. Let's go. Alright, so in today's video, we're busting out the whiteboard because we're gonna talk about the 6 factors that make up your credit score. But first, what is a credit score, D? A credit score is a number that predicts how likely someone is to make payments on time or just make payments, period. That's simple as that. So that's what that number represents. When you see that number at 4, 5, 6, 700, 800 credit score, that's basically what your credit score is. But there's 6 factors that make up that number. 6 things that make up that overall credit score. So whatever that number is based on these 6 factors. Bow! You got your payment history, you got your credit utilization or your amount of debt, you have derogatory marks, you have credit age, you have number of accounts, and you have inquiries. Now, each one of these holds a particular percentage weight. So we're gonna get into it. Payment history. What is payment history? Payment history is basically making payments on time, not having late payments. When a payment's due, are you paying that payment on time or is it late all the time? This is very important. This is the number one thing on the list because it holds the highest weight. It's 35% of your overall score. So if your credit score is 700 or 800 or 600, 35% of that is based on you making payments on time, right? Number 2 is your credit utilization or your amount of debt. So in the previous video, where I discussed how to get access to $50,000 to $100,000 in business funding, I mentioned that your credit utilization should be 15% or lower. The lower your credit utilization is, the lower the amount of your limits that you're using, the higher your credit score is. If you have a credit card that's $1,000 and you're using 90% of that, which is $900, when that reports to your credit, that's high utilization and that tanks your credit score. Why? Because credit utilization is 30% of your score. 30%. So D, you're telling me out of the 6 factors, the top 2 are 65% of my score? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Over half of your score is just based on payment history and credit utilization. What's the third factor? Third factor are derogatory marks. Now, derogatory marks doesn't take up a percentage, but it is important because anything like collections, repossessions, charge-offs, bankruptcies, things of that nature, things that are derogatory, that are bad, that are negative marks on your credit, those hurt your credit score because they can be on there for up to 7 years. So even though it's not a percentage of your score, it's good to know that you shouldn't have any derogatory marks, or if you have any, you need to get those off ASAP through credit repair, which I have a link down below for that as well. Number 4 is your credit age. So also in a previous video where I talked about business funding, how to get access to capital for your business, I mentioned that 2 years plus or credit age is good to have because it shows that you know what credit is, it shows you know how credit works. This holds 15% of your credit score, so the more credit age you have, the more reliable you look and the better that helps your score. So if you're new to credit, then of course you're not gonna have a long amount of credit age, but over time, as you open more accounts and you pay things on time and you do right by these companies and lenders, and the more credit age you have, the higher and better that's gonna help your score. Number 5 is number of accounts or your credit mix. So basically this is 10% of your score, but what it is basically all of the accounts that you have. So if you have multiple credit cards, you have a car loan, a mortgage, or whatever it may be, it's just the number of accounts. So this is 10% of your score. Usually, having a good amount of accounts also helps your score as long as you're paying things back on time and you're keeping your balances low. And last but not least are inquiries or new credit. So inquiries or new credit or things that you just recently applied for. So if you applied for like a brand new car, you applied for a credit card or a line of credit, things of that nature, you're gonna have an inquiry where they pull your credit to see how much you get approved for and things of that nature. That's 10% of your score. So not as heavy as the first 2 or first 3, but it is very important. That's why I mentioned in the earlier video that inquiries aren't as important. As long as you don't have like more than 4 to 5 inquiries, you know, within a few months or so, that's fine. Don't have 10, 15, 20,000 inquiries. That's crazy. That's gonna tank your score. That's it. 6 factors that make up your credit score. So the higher your credit score is, it's just really based off of you making payments on time, if you're keeping your credit card utilization low or your overall amount of debt low. And then the other factors, you know, they're very small. So that goes to show that number, that credit score number, is just really just based on you just being reliable. Those are your 6 factors that make up your credit score. Payment history, 35%. Credit card or credit utilization or amount of debt, 30%, which is 65% out of those 2. You have your derogatory marks, which doesn't take up a percentage, but it's very important. You have your credit age, which is 15% of your score. And then you have number 5, which is number of accounts or your credit mix, the amount of accounts you have, which is 10%. And then you have inquiries or new credit, which is also another 10%. You have 35, 30, 15, 10, 10, which equals 100. Now you know what your credit score is. Now you know what factors make up that credit score. If any of this information was helpful to you and you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions about, you know, any of the factors or about credit in general or about credit repair, I do have a link down below. If you need credit repair, if your credit is bad and you want to, you know, get your credit score up so you can start getting approved for cars or, you know, a house or business funding for your business if you want to be an entrepreneur, click the link down below or comment if you have any questions. And last but not least, make sure you subscribe to your boy so I can get this information out to more people. I can change more lives. I can educate more people on credit, on the factors, and just help you level up in life. And let's go. Let's get it. You already know what time it is. It's your boy D. It's time to level up. Let's go.